What's good, man? What's good? Um, so the New York Football Giants have um, the New York Football Giants have traded Kadarius Toney to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I've listened to two New York Giant content creators. That's Talk Entertainer and Mad Dog, right? Listen, I heard what they had to say. I heard what both had to say. You know what I'm saying? I think, I truly do think the Giants made a mistake. And I'm going to tell you why. All bias aside, I don't know Kadarius Toney. The last wide receiver, the last Giant, the last time the Giant drafted a wide receiver from Florida, it was Ike Hillard. Not a lot of people are going to bring that up because obviously, living in the past is like what does Ike Hillard have to do anything with this? Well, Ike Hillard did go to the school of, or he did he did go to the College of Florida, right? He wasn't really productive for us, but he was very durable. You know, he wasn't injury prone. I think prior to like his last few years, he started to slow down, decline a little bit, and then he bounced around. He bounced around in the league, and then after that, he retired. He didn't have much playoff success with us. I believe he only caught two passes for like 26 yards in that one playoff game that we had. But people have to understand this, right? We cannot hold players accountable for their actions. Just like we can't hold what y'all do on y'all platform accountable, right? We're not fans. We're human beings. Sometimes human beings are different from other human beings, right? So, for the simple fact that a lot of people are taking jabs and shots at Kadarius Toney, oh, he's the S word, he's soft, he has no heart. You can never question or you can never measure a guy's heart. You know, you can't say that he never gave effort. He did. He did. It's just like so many great wide receivers have came to the New York Giants, right? Cruz, Nix, Manningham, Plaxico, Toomer. Toomer was our last good receiver that we had in a long time, right? And then obviously we caught lightning in the bottle in Odell Beckham Jr. He didn't pan out that much, Victor Cruz, he couldn't stay healthy, you know. The others that I mentioned before, it was just a contract negotiation dispute. They wanted more money. They felt like their value wasn't being utilized. They felt like their talent wasn't being utilized. And they split. You know what I'm saying? Mario Manningham went to 49ers. Hakeem Nicks went to the Colts. Our Steve Smith went to Philly. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously it needed to fill a void. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously Eli Manning went through the years without the number one receiver until they found Victor Cruz, an undrafted free agent in the draft. And then they drafted Ruben Randall. And then after that, they drafted Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, Hakeem Nicks came back for one good year. Well, not one good year, but he came back. He came back for that one season, and then the chemistry just wasn't there with him and Eli anymore. So You can't you can't say that Kadarius Toney don't have heart. Yes, he had a lot of issues. Okay, he had a lot of derailing issues, but you can't say that a guy has no heart. You know, I just think that his mind wasn't in the right place at the time. You know, it's not that New York is too big. I mean, you could play anywhere. You know, I mean, most players don't even play to their full potential when they get drafted. Think about it. Take a offensive player like Odell Beckham Jr. Did the Giants really maximize Odell Beckham Jr.'s talent? No. I mean, all he was known for was catching one hand balls and doing slants and taking it like 80, 70 yards to the house. That's all he was known for. He wasn't this big macho man type of receiver that everybody feared. We did not maximize his full potential when he was here. Now, obviously, it was the play calling. Maybe they was just forcing the ball on Odell. That's where he got hurt. He was constantly getting hurt, because he was only our only deep threat, or kind of deep threat. And then when we traded him for Jabril Peppers in the first and the third round pick, it's like, oh, we could have gotten more from him. We could have gotten 3 first rounders for Odell. For a guy that value, that talent, no. No. Like, we could have gotten 3 first, a third, and then a player. And then we would have been talking business. But for you to get a first and a third and a Jabril Peppers, and then both of those players, one became DeAndre Baker, who didn't pan out, and then the other one became Dexter Lawrence, who did pan out. Because remember, we had 2 picks in the first round. We picked DeAndre Baker, that was a cornerback, and then we picked Dexter Lawrence, And then Jabril Peppers didn't work out for us neither. So the Giants will never have a dominant offensive player. Dominant defensive player? Hell no. Because they're afraid that player is going to overshadow Lawrence Taylor. Whoever, it might be a defensive line, as long as it's not a linebacker. It could be a free safety, it could be a cornerback. As long as it's not a linebacker, the Giants will always shy away from that position. They'll just plug in players. Veteran, he could be a veteran player, but the Giants will never disrespect the legacy of Lawrence Taylor, because Lawrence Taylor meant so much for that franchise. He could have won more Super Bowls, but he only won 2 Super Bowls, okay? So the simple fact that Giants has always struggled in that position bothers me a lot, because the linebacker is like the quarterback of the defense. If you don't have a linebacker, if you just keep plugging in, plugging out linebackers, it's never going to work. Like, look at we passed out Michael Parsons, for crying out loud. Do you think Michael Parsons was going to over succeed high expectations? Or that's high expectations on Michael Parsons to feel like you're not filling nobody's shoes, You got to play within your own pace. You can't be Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is a player by himself. The best thing you could do is be a better version of you. You know what I'm saying? But what the fans do is fans put high expectations, media put high expectations on you, saying that, oh, you got to do this, or you're not, this or that. I'm pretty sure Kadarius Toney would have been very exceptional, in this offense. But I don't know what the heck the Giants offense is. I know what the Kansas City offense is. Fast pace, screens, bubble screens. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the ball out of his hands fast type. West Coast schemes. But I don't know what the Giants are running. They're running a lot of trickery. They're doing this. They're doing jet sweeps. They're doing like, you're not playing football. You're playing. I don't know what the heck the Giants are playing right now. I couldn't tell you what offense they're playing in. Are they playing West Coast? Are they playing like two tight ends? One, like, what are they doing? They're just doing a lot of gadget plays and hoping and it works. And it's gonna blow up in their face once they get in the playoffs. That shit is gonna blow up in their face. Watch. All that shit is gonna go under the rug because it's the regular season. But wait till the playoff starts. It's gonna blow up in their face. They're gonna face a superior team, and all that little gadget crap is gonna stop right in their tracks. I'm telling you. Look at that prime example. Look at the Denver Broncos when they had Tim Tebow. Oh, Tim Tebow had a great season with them, right? They beat the number one seed in Pittsburgh, right? What happened when they went up to Foxborough, New England? My point exactly. Patriots shut them down. They didn't run the ball. They didn't pass the ball. They didn't do crap. The Patriots blew them out. I think they scored like 45 or 44-10 or something like that. That's what happens. And the Denver Broncos was doing the exact same thing that the Giants are doing right now. A lot of trickery. Not really playing football, And when they face a superior team, guess what? They got punching them off like Mike Tyson. So all that little thing, they're just gonna throw it under the rug. I'm telling you, watch. And I predict the Giants was gonna go to the playoffs. The way that they're rolling right now, there is no way that they're gonna lose 3 straight, 4 straight, 5 straight. There is no way, unless they face the Eagles twice. Then I could see them losing back to back. Well, not really back to back, but I could see them losing to the Eagles twice. The way the Redskins are playing, I could see them beating them twice. The way the Cowboys, I think we might probably get a win over the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are going to beat us on Thanksgiving. So I just think that Kadarius Toney right now is in a better place. I think, because you have to understand, where you get drafted matters. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, where you get drafted don't matter. Oh, it matters because of the climate. New York is very cold. It's not a warm. It could be warm. It could get warm sometimes, but it's obviously cold a lot. Trust me, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, so I could tell you from experience that shit was cold. I had to wear like 3 jackets to school almost every day because that shit was cold. I literally had to walk home because obviously, where my school was like right off the block, PS 181. So my school was like 3 blocks down. So I was a walker. I didn't ride the bus to school at the time. But it gets cold very fast, 5, 6 pairs of socks. You have, like, it's crazy. I used to live off of Snyder Avenue. You know what I'm saying? I still remember the address. But anyways, man. But like I said, man, where you get drafted matters. Like when you get to a new team, a new city, you just feel rejuvenated. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody is expecting you to say, "Oh, okay, so you've been not performing well just to get out of this situation." It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I can show you, I can name you 3 players that done that. And they went on to have a very great career. But I'm not going to mention no names. But, they know who they are. You know what I'm saying? So, like JP, prime example, number 1, JPP. I'll just name one, JPP, right? You think Jason Pierre-Paul had a very great year? He had one good year, and that was in 2015. No, 16, when he had 16 and a half sacks. Now, go look at the stats that he put up with Tampa Bay versus the New York Giants. He had more sacks. He had more solo tackles. He had more tackles for loss. So he doubled what he did in New York in Tampa. Instead of, I think he had 18 or 19 and a half sacks. Versus when he was with New York, he only had 16 and a half sacks. So where you get drafted, it matters a lot. Because players may not even feel comfortable playing in cold climate. They rather play in warm weather climates like Miami, like LA, like Kansas City. Like you barely hear them players getting injured. But with us, it's always, oh my God, we thin in every position. We thin in every position. It's the climate. It has nothing to do with the turf. But people are going to over-exaggerate anyways because that's how their mind works. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. I just feel like the Giants made a huge mistake again. And again, they got the same value as they did with Odell Beckham Jr. They got a third and a first-round pick for Kadarius Toney. Instead of just getting 2 first-rounders and a third-round pick. The Giants don't know how to do business at all. If that was, like, the talent that you're getting from Odell Beckham Jr. at the time, he was still in his 20s, early 20s, and all you could get from him was that. One player became a bust, and the other player became pretty decent for us, obviously Jonathan Hankins wasn't really bad with us, his rookie year. But after that, he just kind of declined, you know what I'm saying? But Dexter Lawrence, he's been pretty good. DeAndre Baker, he's been a total disaster, you know what I'm saying? You know the situation with him, you know what I'm saying? We could have kept Janoris Jenkins for another year or two, sign him to a 2-year deal, you know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. The Giants got what they could. I guess they could have gotten more if they finessed, but they didn't. I don't know. I'm not in a freaking office, but this is the same exact deal that they got for Odell Beckham Jr. Instead, they didn't get a player in return. They didn't swap players in return. They just got draft picks. So they got a third and a first rounder for Kadarius Toney. And what did they get for Odell Beckham Jr.? The same thing. A third and a first. No, I think they got 2 firsts and a third and then Jabril Peppers. So they got the same exact deal. I don't think they was going to get much because it's Kadarius Toney. You know what I'm saying? Knowing his injuries. But again, I hope nothing for the best for him. If he feels like New York wasn't for him, then I don't know how he's going to get on the field with all those receivers. Maybe he might probably get he might probably get on special teams or something like that. I don't know. But, now we're just very thin at receivers. We still got Galladay, who's collecting checks like James Harden. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Really? What are we doing here? What are we doing? And I've been trying to tell y'all for the longest. We suck. We suck. We suck. We wasn't supposed to be this good. Right now, we should have been 1-6 instead of 6-1. That's how bad the NFL has been methodically dissecting our schedule. You know what I'm saying? We've been bad. We were supposed to be good next year. This year was supposed to be a rehearsal. It don't matter if we do poorly. It don't matter if we do somewhat middle, average. but we are right here. So what happens when we face elite teams? Now you can say, well, Baltimore Ravens was elite. Baltimore Ravens defense was not good, secondary wise. Their front four was good, don't get me wrong. They have a very good front four, but their secondary was obviously a mess, and they was missing some key guys in that rotation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making no excuses, you know what I'm saying? You face who you face, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, they faced an Aaron Rodgers team with no receivers, just like us. I mean, there was just a whole bunch of rookies. Like, if you really look at our schedule, you can say this team is gonna win 11 games. They're gonna go 11-5. The same record like we did back in 2016. We're gonna win 11 games. Because if you really look at our schedule, the only two games we're not probably favored is against the Eagles twice, and the Vikings, and the Cowboys again. But if you take those four teams out the equation, almost every single game is a wrap. At home against Houston, that's a win. At home against Lions, that's a win. We still haven't faced Washington yet. We faced Dallas one more time. We still haven't faced the Eagles yet. So, and then after that, I think we faced the Colts. So you're looking at 11-5 again. First round exit, and a lot of people are boosting that, and they're like, "Oh, can Daniel Jones lead us to the Super Bowl?" This is exactly why the Giants didn't pick up his fifth year option. They're looking at this draft class next year. They're looking at chops. Whether he balls this year or not, it doesn't really matter. He's not the answer. It wasn't their pick. You know, it was the Dave Gettleman's pick. So he might be doing all this for nothing. Yeah, he could go out there and score 5 touchdowns against the Commanders. He might, though, go out there and score 2 touchdowns against Seahawks. They don't have the Legion of Boom there no more. They don't have Marshawn Lynch. They don't got Russell Wilson. But the Seahawks are playing very great. Same thing with the Texans. The Texans may not have what they have before, but they're playing tooth and nail. Same thing with the Lions. The Lions may be struggling, but they play very, very hard. That's why you should never underestimate your opponent. Michael Jordan said that the best. You know? But, it is what it is, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. On the road to 300 subscribers. Hopefully. I don't know.